us off.
Looked like we saw everybody out there today, but what can you tell us about availability for the weekend?
Disappointingly, Andrew Privett's unavailable due to a one-game ban for 2 yellow cards, which turned into 1 red card. So I was disappointed with that.
Did you guys have any deliberation about appealing or no?
No, I know the context of appealing. You have to prove beyond doubt that the referee has made a clear and obvious error. Even though he's 48 yards behind the ball, we couldn't do that. Does Andrew Privett put his hand on the lad's shoulder? Yes. Does it make the lad go down? Very, very debatable. So I'm really disappointed with the decision, but there's nothing we can do in terms of the appeal.
How much do you guys get the altitude chamber a workout this week, given your altitude challenges on the weekend?
Well, we've been on the waterfront in Miami already, so now we're in the mountains in Colorado, so we're looking forward to it. I've not done the altitude training at all yet. I do my breathing exercises every morning, so hopefully we'll all be okay. But listen, most of our lads have played there before. They understand what it's going to be about, and have dealt with that before as well. So, they're excited. It's our next game, and we're looking forward to it.
What changes with Reem potentially slotting back in, Doumbia potentially playing a second consecutive contest?
Yeah, Suleiman's trained all week. He's trained very well. He's getting into the swing of things. Wilf's been back all week, had a full week's training with us. Tim's come back a little bit under the weather from the US game. He had a bit of a fever over the weekend there, so we've pulled him out of training yesterday a little bit early. But he's pushing to come straight back in, as is Pat, as is Liel, who've come back really well. But the lads who played last week in their places did really well as well. So it's great for me to have really good and difficult decisions to make.
I was going to say next week, obviously, probably a little bit more difficult with having the full deck to look at. But how would you rate wanting to maybe have Suleiman's forward thinking and forward ability versus not wanting to displace Andrew and wanting to get basically how do you make everybody fit, so to speak?
I want everybody fit. I want everybody fit so I can actually fit them into the team that I want. We brought Suleiman in because he gives us something that Tim doesn't as a left back. But we've done that also by moving Pep from last season. He played off the right. Now he's playing more as a 10 now. We've brought Wilf in on the left-hand side. He gives us, a little bit different to what Kerwin or Abada did last season. And, that's the beauty of football. It's about opinions all the time and, making sure that you're pragmatic enough to have the right team for the right opposition.
You've made reference to the fact that Pep has been moving towards 100%. I shudder to think what 100% looks like for him if this is him at less than.
I thought he was really good last week. His running numbers were, what we would expect of him. I said to him, I joked with him that he was alive and kicking now, and he's getting ready for what's going to be a proper MLS season for him. He obviously came late last year, and he's doing really well. As I say, I still don't think he's 100%, but I thought it was a really good performance last week from him.
What do you feel like getting Pat back from the U.S. men's national team does for you? Because I'm sure there are things he learns there that are different than what he learns here. Like, how do you make sure you transpose that from, okay, you're over here with the men on the U.S. side, but now when you come back here, you got our folder, so to speak.
Listen, he'll be coming up against some high caliber players when he's playing for the national team, but it's still a game of football. It's the same thing as what we're doing. So, one thing he went away with was the boost of getting the goal against Philly, and then he's gone away with the national team again, played 4 appearances, 3 goals. That can only be good for us and him, for his confidence. So, we're happy when he goes there and does really well.
What are the particular challenges on the field that Colorado face?
Well, they've been really tough to beat. I mean, I know their last result was their first defeat of the season. You know, they got beat at home 3-0 by Portland, but up until then they'd won 2 and drew 2. So they've been very difficult to play against. You know, it was a really tight game between them and San Jose, who we played last week as well. So I've, you know, watched loads of clips of that game because of obviously watching both teams. But it's going to be a different game for us. You know, we haven't yet won on the road, and that's one thing that we have to go and do. So, you know, it's a great challenge for us.
You've, based on what you said after the game, and there was kind of a trickle down from where Westy also kind of echoed your sentiments, and that scoreline doesn't necessarily reflect the way you guys played. How easy or difficult is it to maintain an edge given the form that you guys have put on through the first 5 games of the season?
Well, I think it's all, and I keep talking, it's all about performance. I thought our performance last week was okay. I think we're still building performances. I think individually players are still building their performances as well, and as a team that will only get better the more we get to know each other. You know, it's the first time Sully's played for, you know, with a lot of his new teammates. We're still getting used to Wilf. We had Pep last season, so we know him. So, you know, there's a lot of, you know, relationships that are still building and forming, and you know, our job is to make sure that we're consistent while we're still forming them relationships, but getting better as well.
61 minutes for Abada on Tuesday. Does that change how you approach his playing time?
No, I mean, listen, he sent plenty of messages to, you know, my members of staff telling them that he was ready for Saturday. So it shows me what mindset he's in. He wants to come back and stay in that team.
He can play fullback, apparently.
Apparently, I'm not sure whether he did play fullback. I haven't seen the game or spoke to him about it, but I know it was down as fullback. But you know, Norway have got a good team, to be fair, and some good players, so that would have been a tough game.
Speaking of international play, do you watch the U.S. games or first game anyway?
I didn't. I saw Pat's goal, and I saw Panama's goal. Does that mean they won the Canal back? Only joking.
That would make it an interesting game.
Sorry.
Point made. See, I gotta get back on track. Tokomati, what did he show you on Saturday?
I think he showed us all the facets of his game, his work rate, his touch, the ability he's got. He's good in the air as well. So, you know, he's only a really young player still for us. And but I think we're going to have a really good challenge in the months to come between him and Patrick.
See, you think about starting him, you know, or is he not quite to that?
Yeah, no, he's put himself into, you know, you start a game, you lead the line, you score 4 goals, and you're involved in at least 2 or 3 of them. It's not a bad full debut for him.
When he goes for the bicycle, is that okay with you? You're leading 4-1, or are you like?
No, it's okay with me. The fact that he got cramp after didn't help him, which I pointed out to our owner Dave, because he said, "Oh, the overhead kick was good," and I said, "Yeah, but he got cramp after that." And he said, "You're always having to go at the players." I said, "No, just trying to make them better."
Yeah. I think I heard you tell Ryan Bailey you didn't think Westy was interested in coaching, and then last night at Crown Legacy, he's out in the coaching gear.
That's what he's always told me. He's been in and amongst the academy. He's done loads of talks in here for young players. You know, his enthusiasm for the game, I think, is there for all. You know, sometimes somewhere he may become a coach, and you know, if he wants to be, and hopefully, you know, that can be here. You know, I think he's starting to get the feeling that it may be a route that he can go down. He's enjoyed being in and around the academy. Gary came and asked me if he could, you know, go and observe what he did with the legacy team last night, and that was fine by me, and you know, see what he learns from there.
You think he'll do that again?
I think he'll certainly ask. I think he's, you know, it's probably pricked his ears a little bit about, you know, what could be and what's involved in it. When I told him about the hours, that turned him off a little bit. The hours that you have to put in, But sorry, Beck, he did say, he'd keep him away from his wife a little bit more. That would have just got him in trouble. Yeah, I think she will be. She'll be pushing him out.
Yeah.
Less help with the kids, though.
Yeah, exactly.
He has a good temperament for it, though, right?
He has a really good temperament. Yeah. He understands the game. He'd be good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everything's already covered
All right.
that I need, so I'm good.
Brilliant.
I think I see Steve's hand. Go ahead, Steve.
Hi, Dean. With the Charlotte getting as much love as they are from the broader media spectrum this year, which started last year with overachieving what they thought the club could do, and especially this year with the great start and the high position you have in the East, how do you temper that with the guys, from reading the clippings and thinking they might be better than they are at this point? How do you keep them hungry at this point?
Keep continuing with the standards within this club. I don't listen to outside noise. I never have done. They don't influence what our thinking is. I make decisions on how we play, on how we train, on the team, and none of that is with outside noise. It's about what I see day to day within in the football club, and not many people outside of this city know what goes on here. So, it's fine to watch 90 minutes and be a judge on that, but many things can happen to make a result in 90 minutes, and that's why I keep saying it's the performances that have got to be, the be-all and end-all.
Are you getting that vibe in practice that these guys are still hungry, that they still know they haven't accomplished anything yet?
Yeah, no, these boys know the levels that they have to be at in terms of training sessions. The coaches know the levels that we have to put the training sessions on, and we have to keep pushing each other all the time to make sure as a club we're moving forward all the time.
Are you getting that? Do you hear it vocally from the players in training that they're pushing each other?
Yeah, no, definitely. The standards the standards in training have been very good. I mean, I think I can count on one hand the amount of times where I've pulled them in training over my 14, 15 months here, where I've had to question the energy levels and enthusiasm in training. So, that's a given for me. Hard work is always a given. That's how you. That should be the first thing that comes with being a professional sports person. The rest of it is learning and developing.
Great, thank you very much.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, I think we'll have another one.
You made reference to it a little bit earlier, but I wanted to stop down on it. The home form obviously has been heavily celebrated, but you've also made very clear this doesn't mean anything if you can't duplicate it on the road. How much of that is a conscious talking point? How much of that is inherent when it comes to the guys?
Yeah, I mean, the only performance I've been disappointed with really was the first game at Seattle. I mean, we got a point that we didn't deserve, probably what we deserved at Miami. So we need to make sure that we go on the road and win. But you're looking at Seattle and Miami, two of the best teams in the MLS last season. Seattle had the best defensive record. Miami won the Supporters' Shield. So we knew the start of this season, the quality of the teams that we were coming up against. But we all feel in the dressing room that our away form has to be better than it was last season, and we will be better this season.
You mentioned conversation with Mr. Tepper. How have those conversations developed from first meeting with him, first learning him? How has he learned you? How have you learned him, and gauging his involvement with?
I've had unbelievable support from Dave and Nicole. And I always remind Nicole of the first conversation we had, and she said, if he gives you shit, give it him back. So we do have a little bit of banter together, but I know that I've got support, but I'll also have difficult questions to ask when we don't perform well, and that won't be just from Dave, that'll be from Zoran as well. And one of the things that I'm very open with my communication channels to Dave and Zoran, so I think that's healthy. That breeds a healthy working environment for me.